Welcome guys, so today we are going to take a look at Goodreads' most anticipated books of the fall season 2024, see if I can discover something new, see which ones I'm interested in to add to my own TBR to be read for this fall season. Now this is going to be a long list, so I'm prepared here, I got my coffee. And for you guys, I will add the chapters for each genre so that you can only look through the genres that you are interested in. Okay, let's go. Okay, hi guys. So here we are with the most anticipated books of the fall according to Goodreads. And we are starting with contemporary and historical fiction. So the first one is The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. Author of the Midnight Library, which I still haven't read, but I do want to read. I see it everywhere in the shops. So this one is set in liminal space between reality and whatever it is that comes next. When retired math teacher Grace Winters inherits a derelict house in Ibiza, she discovers that magic is not only real, it is everywhere. So this one sounds very interesting. Might be something for me, release date in early September, so I think I'll add this to my TBR. Then we have Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. The gist: three very different sisters convene in New York City to deal with some childhood stuff, both literally and figuratively. Good readers who've already read this one love it. I don't think this is something that sounds up my alley. Let's see. Next one is Colored Television. Jane is an ambitious biracial author and professor trying to finish her novel on the history of people with mixed heritage. But when she gets involved with a shady operator buying diverse content for a streaming platform, things get gradually but severely weird. So this one sounds very interesting. This one sounds very modern. I'm kind of into those stories, so yeah, let's add this to my TBR. I don't want to add too many as well, because TBR is just getting longer and longer, and it feels like a task list that I never managed to finish. So I'll just add the ones that I feel I can manage till the end of the year, I guess. We have Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout. Pulitzer Prize winner Elizabeth Strout is back on the shelves this fall with more stories from the small town of Crosby, Maine, hometown of Lucy Barton and Olive Kitteridge. The new book proceeds from an odd murder investigation. But as always, Strout's real interest is empathy and compassion and the unrecorded lives of everyday people. So this one does sound very interesting, but it feels like this is set in a universe that some other books are in that I have not read. So I'm gonna leave it for now. We have Intermezzo next by Sally Rooney. Two brothers reunite after their father's death. Peter is a successful Dublin lawyer. Introverted Ivan is a competitive chess player. Amid the grinding grief, the brothers discover new possibilities for themselves and women they love. The latest novel explores the slippery bits between grief, family, and desire. So this one is something that really interests me, like family stories, especially, between two brothers. I also have a brother, and I do feel that certain events can bring those relationships closer. I am going to add this to my TBR. Playground by Richard Powers, from the author of the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel The Overstory, which I don't know, never heard of that. This panoramic novel sweeps across time and continents to finally settle on a remote atoll in French Polynesia, where the future of humanity is at stake. Detailed backstories power a character-driven drama. So this one sounds like it's jumping back in time quite a bit, which if you guys seen some of my other reviews, you know that I don't like that. Time skipping just confuses me. So I prefer my story linear. That's not gonna be for me. The Empusium by Olga. I'm not even trying to pronounce that last name. Historical fiction threaded through with a playful kind of literary horror. The Imposium is the latest novel from revered author Olga, winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. Set in a Polish sanitarium circa 1913, the book is in part a wry response to Thomas Mann's classic The Magic Mountain, blending high philosophy with dark comedy, strange folklore, and hallucinogenic liquors. This one sounds a little bit too deep and too complex for me. I don't think this one is going to be for me. The Mighty Red by Louis Eldridge. Hailed as one of the major writers of the Native American Renaissance, Louis Eldridge is famously unafraid to tackle big subjects and themes. The Burdens of History, The Power of Love, her novel proceeds from a strange wedding in North Dakota to consider questions about deep time, the immortal soul, and our troubled stewardship of the natural world. Not for me, I think. That sounds too much like that horrible book from Keanu Reeves, The Motherless Land by Nikki May. Toggling between scenes in Somerset and Lagos, Anglo-Nigerian author Nikki May borrows the general shape of Jane Austen's Manfield Park, then scribbles happily outside the lines. May's heartfelt novel chronicles 20 years in the life of two childhood friends as they grow into adulthood, both nourished and haunted by their shared family history. I want to read some a little bit more upbeat and happy things at the moment. This one sounds like it could be very sad. The City and Its Uncertain Walls by Haruki Murakami. The long-awaited novel from Japanese author Haruki Murakami, his first in 6 years, is being billed as a love story, a quest, an ode to books and to the libraries that house them, and a parable for these strange post-pandemic times. This sounds also a little bit too much about, the question of existence and why we are here and what we are doing here. I'm not too much into these kind of stories at the moment. We have Rental House by Weiko Wang. Readers with in-law issues should vibe with the latest literary expedition from Weiko Wang, author and much admired 2017 novel Chemistry, which I have not read. Married couple Nathan and Karu come from a decidedly different background. His family is rural and working class. Her parents are overeducated Chinese immigrants. Things get interesting over the course of 2 extended family vacations. So this one sounds very interesting to me. This is something that I absolutely would love to read. It sounds a little bit like one of the family novels that I read recently, which is called All Is Well, also by a Chinese author. So I'm going to add this to my TBR, but I will check if that one is available in the original Chinese version. And then we are done with the first genre. So next up is mysteries and thrillers, which is a genre that I really do enjoy a lot. So maybe I can find a little bit more in here. First one is Mad Woman by Chelsea Beaker. Following her acclaimed 2020 novel Godshot, which I didn't read, author Chelsea Beaker returns with this literally psychological thriller about mothers, daughters, male violence, and intimate terrorism. Clove is a seemingly happy Oregon mom who carefully cultivated facade is starting to slip. When a letter arrives from a California woman's prison, life gets much more complicated for Clove, if that's her real name. So this one sounds very intriguing. I love mysteries. I love these kind of stories. Not too much into the whole violence theme, so I hope that's not a big part of the book, but I'm going to add this on my TBR. Death at the Sign of the Rook by Kate Atkinson. The sixth book in Kate Atkinson's Jackson Brody Cozy Mystery series. Okay, I'm gonna skip that because it's a series. I haven't read any of the other books. I think I need to go through a little bit quicker here. Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. Literary maverick Rachel Kushner brings her intimate style to the realm of noir with this cerebral thriller about a French anarchist collective infiltrated by an American secret agent. This sounds a little bit to up there. Next one is Here on a Moment by Leanne Moriarty. I gotta take a sip here. Here's a good question. If you found out today exactly when and how you will die, would you live your life any differently? So I don't have to continue on reading. This sounds very intriguing to me, so I'm gonna add this one. We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. From the author of popular Thursday Murder Club cozy mystery series, We Solve Murders, follows the adventures of father-in-law, daughter-in-law team as they square off against a ruthless killer. This one sounds just like very good crime for a cozy Sunday night reading while it's raining outside. So this one will definitely go on my TBR. Next up, we have The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. Estranged siblings Nora and Dave have feelings about their wealthy and distant father. Complicated feelings, but when Dad falls to his death from a cliffside cottage, the siblings team up to investigate. I don't know, I've read something that sounds very much like this just recently. Not very interested. The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Author and practicing physician Frida McFadden, the housemaid, has won a loyal readership with her suspenseful mystery thrillers. Her latest concerns single New Yorker Sydney Shaw, her president dating life troubles, and handsome doctor. I don't think this one is for me. I don't think I'm the target audience here. The last one, At the Wedding, Jason Rikulak. After 3 years estrangement from his daughter, Frank Satovsky is thrilled to receive an invitation to her upcoming wedding. He arrives at a luxe private estate to discover that Maggie is marrying Aidan Gardner, scion and crazy rich billionaire clan. But why is Maggie ignoring him, and why are the locals so hostile? This one sounds a little bit too cliche, I don't know. The Blue Hour, Paula Hawkins. From Paula Hawkins, author of the modest little global blockbuster called The Girl on the Train, which I have seen and read. This old school mystery thriller brings readers to an isolated Scottish island with a menacing gothic vibe. You've got your deceased artist, your missing philanderer husband, past and present timelines, at least one piece of art with a human bone in it. So again, we have past and present timelines, which I'm not a big fan of. Think I'm not getting into this one. Then we have Alter Ego, last one in this genre by Alex Segura. Author Alex Segura returns to the surprisingly crooked world of comic book publishing with this kind of sort of sequel. I'm not gonna get into that. I haven't read the other book that he's talking about here, and I have made very recent bad experiences with comic book adaptations. Then next genre, fantasy novels, is probably one of my favorite genres as well. So let's see what we get in here. Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. Book 2, nope, haven't read the first one. An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. Author specializes in a creepy strain of dark fantasy that combines elements of cosmic horror and traditional mystery thriller plotting. Her latest introduces readers to the moss-draped campus of Drayton College, a college of magic hidden. Nope, I don't think so. This dark academia and I don't know, magic institution and colleges and schools. I think that's been done once and it's been done really well, and we don't need any others in there. Then we have A Song to Drown Rivers by An Liang. Beautiful young Xi Shi, pride of the village Yue, is recruited by a handsome military officer to join the royal court of the neighboring kingdom Wu. Her mission, should she choose to accept it, infiltrate the enemy palace, seduce the king, and stir things up. This one sounds very interesting, like combining some of Chinese mythology and history, I guess. So I do want to read this one, but I also check. I mean, this should be available in Chinese, I guess. We'll see. I'm not sure if the writer originally writes in English or Chinese, but anyway, I want to read the original version. Then we have The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. The third and final book, nope. Wind of Truth by Brandon Sanderson, an incredibly prolific author. Brandon Sanderson. Storm Archive series is set in the storm. So this one also sounds like a series or part of a series. Not gonna get into that right now. I need some coffee to get up my energy. Let's see. So next up we have sci-fi novels. Very much into science fiction. There should be the new Bobbyverse book on here. So if it's not on here, that's a big miss by Goodreads. We have Sky Full of Elephants by Seabook Campbell. In one of the year's most anticipated spec-fic releases, author and poet Seabook Campbell imagines a world in which a significant and very specific subset of Americans appear to commit mass suicide by walking into the nearest body of water. In the aftermath, an estranged father and daughter team journey across the utterly transformed American landscape. I do love this kind of, number one, this father-daughter team up. I usually love these stories. And then that's, post-apocalyptic almost kind of a story. I do love these kind of stories. So this one is definitely going on to my TBR. Next up is I'm starting to worry about this Black Box of Doom by Jason Paring. Winner of this fall's unofficial book, Best Book Title Award. This unique sci-fi vision from author Jason is part comedy, part thriller, and part anti-anxiety medication for a country on edge. The setup: an LA rideshare driver is offered $200,000 to transport a young woman, and a mysterious box to Washington. The trivia: Parking is former executive editor of Crack.com. This one sounds like the Transporter series, basically. Sounds interesting, but I don't think right now I'm going to add that. We have Poliston Neil Stephenson. Sci-fi godfather and elder statesman Neil Stephenson, Snow Crash, is back on the shelves with this September with a historical fiction riff on his traditional speculative fiction concern. The split timeline, nope. This one sounds very complex, or just reading the plot here. Absolution by Jeff Vandermeer. It's generally acknowledged that author Jeff Vandermeer is the finest purveyor of weird fiction. Not too much into weird fiction. The Shoutouts by Gabrielle Korn, set in the same world as her 2023 novel, Yours for the Taking. So I would want to read that one first, so I'm not going to go into that. And actually, the new Bobbyverse book is not on here. So that's a big miss. That's a real pity. Next up, we have horror novels. I'm kind of over that genre for the moment. I did read quite a lot last year, so I have it out of my system for right now. So, but anyway, let's see. So Thirsty, by Rachel Harrison. So Thirsty, subtitle A Vampire. No, not the vampire genre again. No, A Sunny Place for Shady People Stories by Mariana Enriquez. Serious horror connoisseurs can tell you Argentinian author Mariana Enriquez brings a lyrical and literary quality to the old-fashioned scary story. Her new collection of short fiction stories, 12 brand new tales featuring ordinary people encountering extraordinary phenomena, usually ghostly, always terrifying, and occasionally heartbreaking. So this one sounds very interesting. Recently, like books that are collection of short stories. Also with, what did I read recently? One of Paulo Coelho's books was also a collection of short stories, but by his experiences, his life. I do love this kind of premise, so I am going to add this one to my TBR. The Bog Wife. What is a bog? The Bog Wife by Kay Chronister. For generations, uncounted, the Hattersley family has tended to ancestral cranberry bog and honored an ancient covenant. The family performs a ritual sacrifice. This is not for me. Model Home by Rivers Solomon. As the only black family in their suburban Dallas enclave, the Maxwell family got used to dealing with ignorant people. Harder to deal with was the procession of increasingly dire supernatural phenomena. Following their parents' mysterious demise, the adult Maxwell siblings must reckon with their painful past. Rivers Solomon, The Deep, returns to explore American horrors, both historical and metaphysical. No, I don't know. Doesn't sound very interesting. The Cursed House. This is a debut novel from the author. I don't think this is for me. Last horror one in here is Private Rights by Julia Armfield. Fans of Julia Armfield's 2022 underwater horror tale Our Wives Under the Sea will be pleased to see that she returns to a liquid motif in her newest novel, a reworking of King Lear in the Drowning World. The fragile bond between sister Irene, and Agnes is shattered by a shocking revelation that at their father's will, just as uncanny events begin to befall them. Doesn't sound very interesting to me, although the artwork looks beautiful here, the book artwork. Then next up is romance novels, which I'm not reading too much at the moment. I did dabble in it a few years back, read a bit more of them. I love romance novels if there's a bookshop connected, usually. If there's anything with a bookshop, I love those romance novels. We have Daydream by Hannah Grace. So I'm not going to add a lot of romance novels here, I guess, but we'll see. By Hannah Grace, the third installment. So no, not happening. Not going to read any third installments. Then we have Adam and Eve's Matchmaking Tour by Nora Nguyen. To claim her inheritance, Ohio professor Eva Lang must sign up for a matchmaking tour to Vietnam, her family's native home. Half a world away, Adam Oye has been pressured to accept his sister's new business endeavor, which happens to be the same tour. As me cute stories go, it's pretty good. Nope, no, not interested in it. The Striker by Anna Huang, over in the sports romance aisle. Premier League footballer Ash O'Donovan forced into a mandatory off-season training. Nope, no. Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. Oh, is this set in the Wild West? Author Lila Sage, Lost and Lassoed is the latest of her Rebel Blue Ranch series. So this is another series, not gonna get into it. A Legend in the Baking by Jamie Weasley. The romance genre has rich and noble tradition of punny book titles. Yes, there's a pun in there. And excellence should be rewarded. So let us pause in admiration for the title of this latest love story from Jamie Weasley, which concerns a cupcake baking football player, a besotted social media specialist, and the rekindling of a powerful teenage crush. Please note that new books follows the novel. Okay, so this is another sequel, so not gonna get into that. So sorry, no romance novels for me. Next genre we have is Romantasy Novels. So how is it different from romance novels? Can anyone let me know in the comments what is the difference between romance novels and Romantasy Novels? I would love to know. So first up we have A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Soft. Part murder mystery, part fantasy adventure, and part sapphic romance. Dark and Drowning Tide is the latest from genre alchemist Alison Soft, author of the Chiss. A folklorist and her academic rival find love and treachery abroad a river expectation to uncharted waters. Also dragons, shapeshifters, and goth vibes. Nope, not for me. A Fire in the Sky. This already looks boring. Young Tamsin has the worst gig in Pantera as a kind of persecuted stepsister to the realm's actual royal princesses. She gets, oh my god. No. The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. Carissa Broadbent's Crown of Nixia series blends complex romance with dark magic. So is this not? Yeah, book. This is book 3. Not gonna get into that. Then next up we have young adult novels, which I'm still reading quite a lot, even though I'm not that young anymore. Upon Me for Two by Trinity Nguyen. So this is another Vietnamese novel, I guess. If you're in the market this fall for incredible Vietnamese street food and heartfelt young love, you want to check out this YA queer romance debut from author Trinity Nguyen. When American college student Vivi Huynh visits her parents' homeland for the first time, she meets Lan, a beautiful young writer behind a famous food blog. The streets of Saigon are so romantic in the evening. So this one sounds kind of cute, kind of interesting, so I'm gonna give this one a shot here. Immortal Dark sounds like a name we had hundreds of times already. The first installment in a new trilogy. Nope, even if it's the first one, not gonna get into a long trilogy now. When the World Tips Over by Chandy Nelson. Chandy Nelson, acclaimed author of I'll Give You the Sun. Oh, I'll Give You the Sun. I did hear the audiobook of I'll Give You the Sun, and I absolutely loved it. That was probably 10 years back. So, acclaimed author of I'll Give You the Sun returns to her Northern California environs with this lovely YA coming out of age. The setup: three grieving siblings find new colors of sorrow and joy when they cross paths with a rainbow-haired girl who might entirely be okay. So this one sounds very similar to I'll Give You the Sun, which is, a lot about grief and dealing with grief and some, contemplating the world and also almost supernatural aspects to it. So I'll give this one a shot when the world tips over. Love the title as well. Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. In the sequel, nope, no sequel. Book, and the next one is Air, book 1 of a planned duology. Not getting into that right now. Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drew's high school senior. Not too much into high school tales right now. For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga. Betrayed by the boy she used to love and framed for a crime she didn't commit, young Dania plans a daring escape from prison. While she's at it, she's going after the stolen treasure of a djinn. Why not, really? This debut from author Emilia Varga is being pitched as a Pakistani romantic fantasy retelling of Alexandre Dumas' The Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, interesting, but not for me right now. Where the Liberty Hides. High adventure crossed with historical fiction. Where the Liberty Hides is the concluding sequel. Nope. Next up, we have nonfiction. So this one, for nonfiction, it really has to, capture my interest. It has to be a topic that, or about the person that I'm very much interested in. Otherwise, it's not going to go on my TBR. So we'll get through this fairly quickly. We have The Devil at His Elbow, Alex Murdoch. Not interested in the Alex Murdoch cases at all. We have Nexus, A Brief History of Information Networks from the Stone Age to AI by Yuval Noah Harari. So I did read Sapiens by Harari, and I did enjoy that book very much, although it was a thick one to get through, so I would imagine this one is too. But I'm very much interested into this topic, and I don't think there's been a book on the whole history of information networks from Stone Age to AI. So that one is going on to my TBR. I would love to read this one. On Freedom by Timothy Snyder. This one sounds very political. America's most principle, part history, part philosophy. Yeah, not for me. I'm Sorry for My Loss by Rebecca Little and Colleen Long. In the aftermath of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe Wade, veteran journalist and Colin Long investigate the difficult topics of reproductive health and pregnancy loss. Not for me. Then next up we have Revenge of the Tipping Point. Overstories, super spreaders, and the rise of social engineering. Not really interested in it. American Scary. America likes scary stories, but why? Not interested in exploring that question. Be Ready When the Luck Happens, a memoir by Ina Garten. So I don't know who Ina Garten is, so I would imagine I'm not too much interested in her memoirs. I'm very sorry. The Message, one of her restless and respected public intellectual, author Ta-Nehisi Coates, has published everything from in this new collection of essays. No, this war politics, nope, not interested in it. The Elements of Marie Curie, I should read more of her books first before I go into her memoirs, I would guess. Meditations for Mortals, not for me. Framed Astonishing True Stories of Wrongful Convictions, not interested in it. Patriot, a memoir, this sounds political as, oh, this is about Alexei Navalny, again, war politics, not up my alley. Lifeform by Jenny Slate, so this one is the essay written before, during, into wild pregnant mammal thing. Okay, not for me. Didion and Bobbits by Lily Anolik. When artist and writer died, a box was found in the back of her apartment inside. Okay, so this one, I don't know who mentioned this, but there was a famous author. Was it Tolkien that said there's a reason why works are somewhere stowed away in a cupboard and not being published is because the author didn't want it to be published or didn't feel that it should be published. And I think the same thing goes for a lot of like songs of deceased artists, songwriters, singers. And for me, I kind of feel the same way. I feel it's a bit often infringing on someone's privacy to get that stuff published post-mortem. I don't really support that, to be honest. So let's go into the next one here, which is the Serviceberry and Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World. Botanist and best-selling author, botanist, that sounds boring as hell already. Has made a name for herself with nature writing that draws insights from indigenous wisdom of the natural world. This is not for me at all. Nope, not for me. And that's it, I guess. No more songs. So we did add quite a few books to our to be read for this fall season. What was it? I guess like 10 or so. But do let me know if you feel that I skipped over something interesting, or what your favorite books on this list are, what you are going to add to your TBR for this fall season. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye, guys.